No written history of American radio could ever capture its true essence on paper because, above all, radio was a medium of sound. From the lifeless, sometimes confusing printed page of the radio script came vivid sound pictures which stimulated the listener's imagination and produced the desired illusion instantly. Using the simple sound tools of radio, the writers, directors, and technicians could create countless locales and infinite numbers of dramatic events. For many years, this sound heralded a half hour of occult terror and nerve-tingling suspense for millions of nighttime radio listeners. No one doubted that unspeakable horrors lurked behind the squeaking door of the inner sanctum, and if in the course of his eerie introduction, Raymond, the host, apologized for not having had time to count the bodies, living and dead, who will be heard on tonight's show, America knew the worst was yet to come, and they could hardly wait. But not all of radio's sounds were the sounds of melodrama. By the 1930s, music was well established as a staple of radio, and the music makers became the idols of millions. One of these idols was a singer whose rolling diction and virile voice thrilled the faithful females who never missed a broadcast by the street singer.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
If the romantic music of Arthur Tracy, the street singer, thrilled listeners of the early 1930s, another kind of music was greeted with equal joy by those of the late 30s, 40s, and 50s. It was the music that introduced the countless programs devoted to the fight against crime.
Another great story based on Frederick L. Collins' copyrighted book, The FBI in Peace and War. Drama, thrills, action. Tonight's story, The Traveling Man.
To the director, FBI, Washington, confidential. Stolen Buick sedan, motor number 126027, recovered on used car lot, Miami, Florida. Vehicle originally registered in New York City, third recovered to date, confirming theory, New York to Miami theft ring. We'll continue tracing this vehicle and others with Agent Shepard. Sign it Reynolds through Miami field office.
Since the time of Edgar Allan Poe, writers have tried to approach the mystery story from new and different angles. Radio mystery writers had the same goals. The format of the mystery show became, perhaps, more important than the mystery itself. In one series, a kindly old investigator set out each week to find a missing person and inevitably found mystery and murder.
It's time now for Mr. Keene, tracer of lost persons.
Miss Carson, my name is Keene, and this is my partner, Mike Clancy. We're investigating the murder of Donald Travers, your niece's husband. We were asked to take the case by Jane Travers, your niece. May we come in?
Presenting Mr. Keene, tracer of lost persons, in our new Mr. Keen series, in which the kindly old investigator brings to us his most celebrated cases on Mondays through Fridays at this same time. Tonight, the Shrieking Prisoner murder case. The scene opens at night in a large, old-fashioned house in a lonely section of New York City. A young man has just entered the darkened interior, and as he moves across the room, he hears a sudden, blood-curdling shriek of frustration and anguish coming from another part of the house. The young man stands frozen for a moment. Then, as he quickly moves to a door and opens it, a shot rings out. A moment later, a murderer peers down with grim satisfaction at the figure on the floor, the lifeless body of a young man with a bullet through his heart. And now, Mr. Keen, the famous investigator, and his partner, Mike Clancy, are looking into the murder. The scene of the crime is a home owned by two weird sisters, Martha and Amy Carson, and the murdered man is their niece's young husband. Why has he been murdered? Mr. Keen is first attempting to find the source of the frightful shrieking which has been heard in the house. But he and Mike are being blocked by Martha Carson and Luther Prague, her burly handyman, who has entered the room with an axe in his hand. As Mr. Keen says,
Martha Carson, I'm here with my partner, Mike Clancy, to investigate the murder of young Donald Travers. I suggest you tell your handyman to let us go upstairs. If you try to prevent us, you'll only put yourself further under suspicion for the murder that occurred in this house last night.
In sharp contrast to Mr. Keen, there was the fast-talking, hard-boiled insurance investigator, Johnny Dollar.
Expense account, item 4, 5 cents, phone call.
Police headquarters.
Give me missing persons.
Any particular one?
Don't be a wise guy. Lieutenant Fisher.
Yes, sir. Lieutenant Fisher.
Oh, Fisher, this is Johnny Dollar.
Well, hello, Dollar. What did you lose?
Practically everybody. Let's start with a girl, Theodora Butts.
You mean you lost your girl? Why didn't you call Dorothy Dix?
Don't waste time being clever. Just check your reports, will you?
Hold on. Buddington, Bumpus, Byers. Nope, nothing on her, Dollar.
Okay, well, try this one. Brooks, Milford III.
Bullseye. Brooks, Milford III. He hasn't been reported missing, and we haven't found him yet. But, we think we know where he is.
Oh, this kind of a question I always hate to ask. Where?
The Hudson River. At 11:15 tonight, his top coat, complete with identification, was found taking a ride on the 125th Street ferry.
Anything else?
Nothing much. Package of matches was found under the coat, monogrammed. You don't happen to know anybody whose initials are H.H., do you?
H.H.? Well, there's always Horace Height. Thanks, Fisher. I'll check back with you later.
I'll be here.
On another program, the theme music of the show created an air of mystery that captured and held the listener at once. This was the haunting melody that introduced The Whistler.
I am the Whistler, and I know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. Yes, I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak.
Yes, it's the first in a new series of strange tales by The Whistler. Long the West's most popular mystery and a CBS favorite of last summer, The Whistler now brings his unusual stories of conflict and emotion to coast-to-coast audiences each Wednesday evening at this same time. Tonight, The Whistler's story, A Woman's Privilege.
In the drawing room of a palatial home in Newport hang a pair of priceless oil paintings, one of an Italian nobleman, the other his wife. The surfaces are cracked, the frames old and worm-eaten, but the colors are as fresh and brilliant as if they were painted yesterday. There's a strange connection between the paintings and a sordid, ugly scene in a New York police station not far from the East River. It was very late, and in the next room, a homicide lieutenant was grilling a suspect. The charge was murder.
In the opening format of the Whistler series, we find the radio principle of developing a unique sound easily identified by the listener. This uniqueness of sound was also a prerequisite for success as a singer on radio. Bing Crosby had it, so did Kate Smith. And in 1933, so did this 1964 television comedienne, who first starred on her own network radio show at the age of 3.
I haven't even met you, except in dreams that are haunting me. Still I feel you are real. I know I'm going to get you, no use in hiding away from me. I'll find you, I'll find you. Come out, wherever you are, behind a cloud or up in a star. Come out, wherever you are. We haven't met, but it'll be sweet. We'll play and sing the very moment we meet. Come out, wherever you are. I spied you on the Milky Way. I spied you where the daffodils play. I spied you in your hideaway. Hi-oh, the merry-oh, what do you say? Come out, wherever you are, behind the cloud away up in a star. Come out, wherever you are.
That amazing voice belonged to the child wonder of radio, baby Rose Marie, who, after retiring from show business at the age of 12, achieved national recognition for the second time some 30 years later in the part of Sally, the fast-talking gag writer on the Dick Van Dyke television show. The unique sound of her childhood voice had been her entree to radio stardom. Children likewise became the star vehicle for a pleasant-voiced performer named Don Carney, who aimed his views on family problems at the little problems themselves. And when Uncle Don sang, millions of youngsters listened.
Now we're going to sing once more of etiquette. There are some rules that I've never told you yet. Real important subjects that you meet with every day. So listen most attentively to what I have to say. Teasing seems to be a little habit that we all indulge in frequently. Teasing for the things that Mother thinks we shouldn't have. Being just as cross as we can be. Never tease when Mother tells you no, dear. And there's many other pointers that I will mention. Remember this, it's very true. All things are not good for you. I hope that you are paying close attention. Suppose that someone of your little playmates has something that you would like to own. Now, if you say, "Dear Mother, may I have one just like that?" And Mother says, "No, dear, don't weep and moan. We can't have everything we want, dear." And there's many other pointers that I will mention. You would not care for anything if you could have everything. I hope that you are paying close attention. It's natural to want most things we see, dears. Some of us go all through life that way. Wanting, asking, teasing, fretting, never satisfied, being most unhappy every day. So do your best to break the teasing habit. Oh, there's many other pointers that I could mention. Never tease and pout all day. Suppose your face should freeze that way. I thank you for your very kind attention. But of smaller children, never take advantage. They like to play their games just as well as you. Supposing someone big should come and take your toys away, why, you'd think it was an awful thing to do, now wouldn't you? So enjoy your fun, but don't impose on others. And there's many other pointers that I could mention. If you for better manners strive, just heed this chapter number 5. I thank you for your very kind attention.
Uncle Don's appeal to children all over the country was an early phenomenon of radio. In 1929, Uncle Don was included in the blue ribbon list of radio programs considered to be the cream of the industry. That was the same year another radio phenomenon was developing in the obscurity of a small radio station in Baltimore. He was billed as the warbling banjoist. No radio personality before or since has endeared himself to the American public more than Arthur Godfrey, whose personal warmth and sincerity are evident in this touching recitation.
Between the innocence of babyhood and the dignity of manhood, we find a delightful creature called a boy. Boys come in assorted sizes, weights, and colors, but all boys have the same creed: to enjoy every second of every minute of every hour of every day, and to protest with noise, their only weapon, when their last minute is finished and the adult males pack them off to bed at night. Boys are found everywhere, on top of, underneath, inside of, climbing on, swinging from, running around, or jumping to. Mothers love them. Little girls hate them. Older sisters and brothers tolerate them. Adults ignore them, and heaven protects them. A boy is truth with dirt on its face, wisdom with bubble gum in its hair, and the hope of the future with a frog in its pocket. When you're busy, a boy is an inconsiderate, bothersome, intruding jangle of noise. When you want him to make a good impression, his brain turns to jelly. Or else he becomes a savage, sadistic jungle creature bent on destroying the world and himself with it. A boy is a composite. He has the appetite of a horse, the digestion of a sword swallower, the energy of a pocket-sized atomic bomb, and the curiosity of a cat. He has the lungs of a dictator, the imagination of a Paul Bunyan, the shyness of a violet, the audacity of a steel trap, the enthusiasm of a firecracker, and when he makes something, he has 5 thumbs on each hand. He likes ice cream, knives, saws, Christmas, comic books, the boy across the street, woods, water in its natural habitat, large animals, dad, trains, Saturday mornings, and fire engines. There's not much for Sunday school, company, schools, books without pictures, music lessons, neckties, barbers, girls, overcoats, adults, or bedtime. Nobody else is so early to rise or so late to supper. Nobody else gets so much fun out of trees and dogs and breezes. Nobody else can cram into one pocket a rusty knife, a half-eaten apple, 3 feet of string, an empty Bull Durham sack, 2 gumdrops, 6 cents, a slingshot, a chunk of some unknown substance, and a genuine supersonic code ring with a secret compartment. A boy is a magical creature. You can lock him out of your workshop, but you can't lock him out of your heart. You can get him out of your study, but you can't get him out of your mind. Might as well give up. He's your captor, your jailer, your boss, your master. He's a freckle-faced, pint-sized, cat-chasing bundle of noise. But when you come home at night with only the shattered pieces of your hopes and dreams, he can mend them like new with those 2 magic words. Hi, Dad.
As further proof of his impact on the audience, it was Arthur Godfrey who almost single-handedly revived public interest in a musical instrument which had been a national favorite during the fun-loving 1920s, the ukulele. The entertainer first responsible for its popularity during those roaring years was Cliff Edwards, best known as Ukulele Ike.
Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me.
From the Ziegfeld Follies of 1919 to George Gershwin's Lady Be Good in 1924, to the Hollywood Review of 1929, to the Columbia Variety Hour in 1934, to the voice of Jiminy Cricket, and new success in television, Ukulele Ike has been one of America's favorite troubadours for more than 4 decades. No mention of radio troubadours would be complete without the name of Morton Downey, who held forth as radio's most popular Irish tenor during the 1930s and continued to star on radio into the 1950s. His Rose of Tralee brought a tear to many a smiling Irish eye.
The pale moon was rising above the green mountain. The sun was declining beneath the blue sea, when I strayed with my love to the pure crystal fountain that stands in the beautiful vale of Tralee. Though lovely and fair as the rose of the summer, yet was not her beauty alone that won me. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eye ever dawning that made me love Mary, the Rose of Tralee. Oh no, 'twas the truth in her eye ever dawning that made